everybody, welcome back to another episode of Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 5, Shun, Sign, and Sexts. Episode continues back from Ashley being Captain Save Giselle and confronting Stacey about trying to be hooked up with Chris Samuels. Now, as Stacey explains that, Chris is just a friend, but, they're both going around saying that, it was just a little bit more. We don't really know what's really going on. But some of the other ladies, like Angel, confirmed that he's not the type of guy to go around saying that, they're together or somebody's trying to mess with him. She would know because Chris Samuels is Angel's husband's Bobby, his mentor. My question is, if you guys were already like friends and you kind of sort of knew each other, why did you need somebody to reach out to him? I do have that kind of question that's going on in my head, because if you were already friends, then you don't need to reach out. You don't need someone to help you reach out. You can just reach out on your own. Now, Stacey ends the conversation saying, look, I'm back with my man. So, ain't nothing else to figure out. So I do agree with Wendy. Ashley, move out the way. Pipe down. Sit down somewhere. This is not your battle that you should be jumping in. Now, after dinner, the ladies all head back to Giselle and Ashley's little, their little villa to celebrate Wendy's birthday. Now, after they sing happy birthday to Wendy, we see that Kay or Kierna, she leaves because she just, she's not in the mood. Of course, the ladies, they pick a quick game so they can continue celebrating Wendy for a little bit. I don't know why Ashley always wants to bring up somebody's sexuality. We get it, Ashley. You like girls too. We understand, honey. We happy for you. But as we see, the ladies do all chime in, hey, I've liked a girl or two. It's this one girl that, I was just fully attracted to. And that's okay. The night goes on. They start to play a different game. Wendy asks Angel if she could kill anybody in the room, who would it be? And of course she says Giselle. But in this moment, I like the fact that Angel had something on her brain and she said it. I need more of that from Angel. I don't want her quiet around Kierna because you still trying to be, her ride or die. No, stand up for yourself. Understandably, let Giselle know. You have to let Giselle know to her face, hey, don't do this again. I was insulted. I was offended. I'm a mom. I just had children. I'm still milking. And we all know sometimes the bodies don't even come back. Okay, it can be very hard for a nursing mom to get her body, get her shape back. And that's not her problem, because at the end of the day, her man still like it. He still love it. So Bobby ain't got a problem with it. Why should she have a problem with it? Now, the ladies hype her up during this moment because I do think it is a fun moment. And yes, you got to put it in Giselle's face. Giselle, calm down, girl. I ain't nobody's catfish. But Giselle does apologize and the ladies hug it out. All right, so we arrive to the next day for the ladies and we get to see Kierna and Angel, wake up for their little excursion today. Now, they both start to drink cocktails and talk about, what happened the other night. And now here's my question to Angel. If you two hugged it out last night, into which you are still valid with your feelings, why are you still upset with Giselle? You guys hugged it out. You guys agreed to move forward. That you mentioned it to Kierna, but what is the extra animosity if you guys were fine the night before? Then we see Giselle. She's leaving her villa and she's heading on over to the ladies' villa. And as Giselle walks in, they're both giving her the look, the stone look, like, girl, what do you want? But one thing I can say for Giselle, she don't back down. That's one thing I can say for her. But Angel and Giselle, once again, they talk it out. And I guess Giselle gives more of a more sincere apology to Angel. Now, Angel does explain herself and as to why she is still emotional and understandably hurt by what Giselle said. But nonetheless, Giselle apologizes again. And I guess they squashed the beef. Giselle's trying to squash it, but Angel, she's going to hold on it for a little bit more. And I get why Angel does that. But in this moment, Giselle is kind of right. She is. 1 minute you want to hug me, now you don't want to talk to me. So, where is the same energy? Why does the energy keep changing? However, Giselle's heading to the pool. Kieran is already out there, and Angel's just going to give herself a moment, to which I think she does need to collect herself. Next scene, we see all the ladies meet up at the pool. And as the ladies meet up at the pool, Kierna and Ashley go off to the side. And we see in this moment Kierna finally stepping up for Angel and saying how she really feels and them making fun of her looks. Now, while Kay is talking to Ashley on the side, the other ladies are having their own side conversations. And of course, Wendy is mentioning how Kay was never really a friend. She continues to show that she was not a real friend to Wendy. Now, Angel finally shows up, and Angel mentions how Bobby was not feeling it in that moment as she told him what happened to her. And shout out to Bobby, because Bobby wasn't having it about his wife. Now, the ladies on the other side are discussing what happened to Giselle and Angel, earlier in the day. And I kind of agree with Wendy on this one. I don't want to keep coddling two people in their feelings on a trip, but at the same time, y'all kind of started with them. Not saying Kieran, but with Angel, y'all kind of started with them, and then you expect some type of soft response when, no, that's not what I'm going to give you. Now with Kay, that's within its own issue. I feel like Kay does sometimes bring it upon herself, kind of does a little bit too much, but let's just be adults. We're all on a trip. Let's watch what we say and what we do to each other, because we're here to have fun. So we get to the next scene, and the ladies are all in a van. I guess we're all going to head down to some of the shops. Now, I guess before they go to some shops, they are going to do a little tour of history of the island. And I for one like that. I would like, everywhere I go, I want to learn the history of this place. So I'm not just, here, just, basking in all of its glory. I want to know how this place came to be. As the ladies are enjoying a ride, their driver Kenny is singing the song Uwale, and it is a nice song. So, we get a nice little live entertainment as we're about to go on tour. So after the ride, the ladies get to a history museum, and as they are taking the tour, they come upon friendships and how the, founder of the island had died in a friendly duel, but they suspect that the friend hated him just a little bit more. And of course, Wendy starts to go on and on about how friendships are, and sometimes you have a secret hater within the friendship, and that, how some of those same friends can stab you in the back. Now, after the guided tour, the ladies go on a tour of their own. They kind of just walk around and learn more of the history of the island. And now we see Tia and Angel talking, and Tia's asking her how she felt, and, comforting her that, yeah, you just had a baby, so I understand, of course, you're not going to look the same for a while. So as we wrap up all the side conversations, we see the ladies get back on the bus because they're going to go for lunch. Now, as the ladies get back to the villas, Wendy brings up how Ashley was Captain Save-A-Ho, or Captain Save-A-Giselle, as I want to say it, trying to defend Giselle and her secret date or secret man, and brought up the fact that Stacy was trying to talk to Chris Samuel. And now the ladies want to know about Giselle and her supposed man. And I'm loving Giselle in the hot seat as well. Finally, we get to question Giselle about her life while she tries to mess with everybody else's life. So as the ladies continue to question Giselle, which were nice questions, not too demanding, but it sounded like Giselle might be infatuated, not in love, but infatuated, especially for him to meet one of the girls. Because we know Giselle does protect her daughters. That's one thing I do like about her, and she is a good mom. But we see them starting to have lunch. So as lunch goes on, we see the ladies trying to get to know Angel and Tia a bit more. We start to learn a bit more about Angel, and of course she's talking about Bobby, her family. But with Giselle in this one, I want to know more about Angel. Even necessarily doesn't make you a bad bitch, but yes, if you care about yourself, if you feel good about yourself, yeah, you are a bad bitch. And I like Tia's story. I like Tia. I think Tia comes different. She adds something different to the group, and we got to learn how Tia met her husband. And as the ladies are wrapping up the conversations with each other, they're actually about to go shopping now. And so far, Giselle has thrown a nice trip. It does look fun from right here, minus the, the cattiness and, the verbiage of everybody having some sort of attitude. But other than that, the trip looks like everybody's having fun. And this time on the bus, they finally have some more fun. They have a stripper pole. So as the ladies start to have fun on the bus, we notice that Wendy is not feeling well. She started to say she's not feeling well, and I don't think Wendy should be taking that shot. So the ladies pulled up to the Artisan Village to do a little bit of shopping. And as the ladies continue to shop, we see more of Wendy just not feeling well, and she has to sit down. And now we see the other ladies in the other shop having a little fun. This is hilarious, but, sending random texts saying, asking about sex and, just having girl fun. Now, I didn't know who Timo was, but now I do. Why would she nickname him knowing we don't know this man? But Stacy was texting her husband, or I guess boyfriend, because they're technically not married. But anyway, she texted him about sex, and, his sense of humor is totally different. I guess because he's German, but, it was kind of awkward. So as ladies finish up their shopping, they're going to get a steel drum lesson. But I do want to mention this. Why did Ashley, first of all, didn't give out the full story, the full context of what Stacy did with her husband. And I like that Stacy walked up on him and said, "Stop talking about me." It was in a funny way, but at the same time, yeah, stop talking about me. The man doesn't communicate like we do. But we see the ladies get up there and start playing the steel drums. Lord knows they don't know how to play it. So we now see the ladies are dressed for dinner. And of course, Wendy is still sick. I don't even think she's going to come to dinner. But I was just saying this, to myself. Yeah, Wendy needs some ginger ale, some medicine, and she just needs to lay down. So Stacy and Giselle brought her up some things, and they go to check on her. So the ladies get to their dinner destinations, and of course, from the island, you get your Killer Bee. That drink looks absolutely delicious. And Angel makes a really good icebreaker joke. Is she going to be on the menu again? And I feel like Giselle's response was perfect. I mean, the night is young. Giselle also brings up to Kierna that Wendy was a bit offended or upset that Kierna did not stay for the entire birthday party. Kierna does give us her excuse that she was just tired and that Kierna was hurt for her friend in that moment. Now, in this moment, they did say that they ended on a good note, but Jazzy was wondering as to why, and myself, you went to bed on a good note, but then you woke back up a bit upset. Once again, Angel can feel how she wants to feel, but at the same time, that is kind of questionable. But I do like Tia chiming in, saying that she will also still feel offended as well. But one thing, I keep saying this because I like me some Tia. She gonna stand 10 toes in what she say, and she gonna tell it to your face. Because Jazzy mentioning how she filters, Tia was like, "Yep, and I filter. Now what?" There's absolutely nothing wrong with filtering. You post what you want to post on your page. And then in that next moment, you see Jazzy and Kierna get into it about their friendship and about what they said about each other around the ladies and behind each other's back. And now we're hearing new information about Jazzy possibly calling Kierna a snake to someone else. It just sounds like a bunch of he said, she said stuff. And it sounds real catty, and they just all need to let it go at this point if they're going to continue the friendship. So Jazzy apologizes to Kierna. Now, I am with Kierna when she right. If you can tell me what I said, then I'll apologize. But Jazzy still has not mentioned what Kierna actually said about her. And now we're also finding out that Wendy is telling Jazzy not to trust Kierna. So, the scene ends, and it looks like it's going to kind of start heating up now. But, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Bye.